And she goes, Dad, they showed me a video today about a boy who was sad and now he's a girl and he's happy.
I'm on my way to a school in Manchester where hundreds of parents have withdrawn their children from the school because the school has exposed their children to age-inappropriate content to push the LGBTQ agenda. Many of the parents are upset. They're protesting right now. I'm going to go there and speak to some of them and see what their concerns are, so stay tuned.
Yeah, 1 second. What are you guys saying?
The school that's been exposing the children to inappropriate material is actually right behind me right now. It's called Birchfields. Now the protests were supposed to take place in that quiet little side street over there, but they moved all the parents to this little pavement over here. The crowd goes all the way to the back there, but the space is limited, so they're trying to keep everybody close over here. They're trying to make it as inconvenient as possible for us to raise our voices. Now these are parents with genuine concerns. Their children are going there to learn maths, English and science.
Whose kids?
Our kids!
Whose kids?
Our kids!
That Rishi Sunak has asked for an immediate review of the RSE framework because it has been highlighted that there are issues of contention. There are legitimate areas of concern. If Rishi Sunak is acknowledging that, have you all seen the reports of drag queens at primary schools in Bristol?
Yeah.
Is this us making this up?
Assalamu alaikum. We're just outside Birchfield Primary School in Manchester where parents have been raising their concerns about content that has been shown to children as young as 6 and 7, and this is to push a certain ideology. So I'm going to speak to one of the protesters, one of the parents, and ask him and talk through with him what the issue is. So
last year, my daughter, who was in year 1, so she was 6 years old, I was walking down with her from picking her up, literally down this road, and she goes, Dad, they showed me a video today about a boy who was sad and now he's a girl and he's happy. Straight away alarm bells were ringing in my head, and I thought, what is this? Like, you know, that she just basically took, he was a boy, he was sad, now he's a girl, he's happy. So I went into the office, found out about the video, they gave me a link to it, and it was the Will It Everywhere video. When I was looking at that video, it's like there was nothing for my daughter to take from that other than boy, sad, girl, happy. Like, she could not fathom what gender reassignment was. She could not fathom what transitioning was. There's no understanding for her regarding puberty blockers. I'm a pharmacist, so I was like understand everything through the medical perspective. I had a complaint with the school. I had a meeting with all the governors, and I highlighted this to them. They completely agreed with me. The school agreed with me. The governors agreed with me, and they removed the video from curriculum. After that, we started speaking to other parents, saying, "Look, school are not telling us, but other parents, ask your children, find out what's actually going on." Once they've started speaking to their kids, more and more things have started to come out of the woodwork, to the point where we've just said, you know what, enough's enough. The school should now just be open and honest with us, show us all the material, all the content, and let's sit down and have a discussion about it.
But did they tell you about what they were going to show the kids prior to them showing it in the first place?
So it's very important to understand how the education framework works towards relationship and sex education. They have 2 lessons, one's RSE and one's PSHE. RSE, the school openly discussed everything with us. They showed us the slides, they showed us everything. I still withdrew my daughter from them lessons because there was stuff on the slides that, for me, unless I knew how the teacher was delivering that material, I wasn't comfortable with. However, the school never discussed PSHE with us, and the Willa video was shown in PSHE,
right.
Which is why after that, the school kept saying, but we have had meetings with you. They only had meetings with us regarding RSE, not regarding PSHE. So we said we want a meeting regarding all material that can have a question mark over it regarding its age appropriateness, or material that's deemed sensitive.
And what was the response of the school then when you said that?
They never once wanted to discuss PSHE with us.
So they were okay with RSE, but
not PSHE.
Not PSHE.
So they had a meeting with us in May regarding RSE, at which there was only a handful of parents there because school tried their best not to make parents fully aware of this meeting. And we highlighted the points according to which we highlighted the fact that language barrier, a lot of first generation immigrants here can't use smartphones and don't understand how to use the jotter. Even in a private meeting between parents we had ourselves, the first question I asked is, who out of all of you knows what RSE means? Out of 170 parents, I think only 10 put their hands up. So if there's a note saying we have a meeting regarding RSE for year 1s, if you don't know what RSE means, you don't know if it applies to you. Yeah. So we highlighted all of this to the school. They kept highlighting to us, you're a minority of parents, it's only a handful of you. And at that point, there was only 5-6 of us.
That's probably because the rest of them didn't know.
They didn't know.
Yeah.
you know, for whatever their own personal reasons are, whether it's language barriers, not engaging with their kids. So the 5-6 of us took it upon ourselves to start making messages in Urdu, in Arabic, in Bengali. We started speaking to parents, we started raising awareness. All the kind of worms started coming out of it all started coming out of the woodworks at that point then. And then all the parents got together and said, hang on, we're not happy with this, this is not good. We then wrote numerous letters to the school to say, look, parents want to sit down and have an open, honest conversation. It was denied. We then did a 1-day strike by keeping our kids off school. We chose a peaceful protest. We didn't want to be disruptive. We didn't want to act like a mob. So we did a 1-day strike by keeping our kids off school. At that time, teachers were striking for their pay. So we kind of took inspiration from that, saying, you know what, this is what most people do in working society when they want to get their voices heard. So we went with that option. We kept the kids off school. I think it was 35% attendance on the first strike. The second strike, then we then gave school a letter, again to which they did not respond. The only response we got was, if you keep your kids off school, you're going to get fines. Rather than feeling intimidated or bullied or victimised by that, we then chose to do a 3-day strike. Again, there was no response from school. On the Monday, there was only apparently 200 children in school. These figures aren't official, but kind of what we've heard from, there was only 3 people in this class, 4 people in that class. It worked out roughly 200 people. Again, to no response from school, to where we then reached this point, which is basically a protest outside school. We had one last week on Tuesday outside the school, and then we've had one today. It was outside the school, they moved us across the road. School have picked and choose which complaints they want to listen to. School has picked and choose which parents they want to listen to. And our overall kind of complaint that we wanted, well, the overall kind of way we wanted to resolve it was to have a general meeting with all parents and discuss and show to us all the content and material that can be deemed sensitive and inappropriate. And that never happened.
Would you say that this school is like a high percentage of Muslims come to the school?
The school have tried to highlight it as a Muslim issue. The problem is the school is 99% Muslim. So I would say if there's any racial issue over here, it's going to be a Muslim issue. If there's ever an issue of bullying, it's most likely going to be a Muslim issue. You know, so the school is majority 99% Muslim.
Would you say that there's, like, I don't know if you've seen what's going on up and down the country, but in schools, like from my experience, after speaking to certain parents that send their children to schools that are maybe not that Muslim populated, they're saying that they don't really see that this kind of effort is being put in. But I feel as though the schools in which there are a lot of Muslim, there seems to be a lot more effort being put in into this RSE and this PS, what do you call it?
PSHE. To be honest with you, like, I'm not on social media, so I don't really interact with many different parents. I've only just made a TikTok account. Since I've started this journey, so to speak, the amount of people that have been reaching out to us, and to be honest with you, I think I can literally reflect what you're saying. It seems like in majority Muslim schools, there seems to be a harder push for this. Now, I don't know if it's because they feel Muslims have an issue with all of this. And again, it's an irrational point. Muslims are in every area of society and we function well within the society. We're in professional jobs, we're in low-level jobs, we're in, you know, working class citizens, all across the board, and we function well in society. So where this kind of, I think it's a subconscious bias that they have, and therefore they feel the need to push it harder in Muslim schools.
So what would be your advice to other parents that are sending their kids to their school? Like, what should they be looking out for? What are the telltale? Because for you, your daughter had to say something, and only then you realise, and for many parents up and down the country, across the world even, the damage is already done. They've already been exposed to the material. So what's your advice to parents who are sending their kids to school? What should they be looking out for?
The first thing I'd say is, do not think it's not happening in your school. Rishi Sunak has asked for an immediate review of RSE because he's already stated there's very much legitimate areas of concern and contention. So I'd say the first step, which is the step that came for me, was talk to your children. Ask them, what did you learn in school today? What have you done in school today? Second of all, speak to other parents. There's a lot of parents that we found out afterwards, they kept telling us, you're the only parent that's complained. When we held a meeting with parents and 170 parents, there was about 20 parents that said, oh, I made a complaint last year. They told me you're the only parent, so I felt like I should shut up. It's just me complaining. Speak to your children, speak to parents. And don't think just because you've seen a protest, that's not where we started. If you have legitimate concerns or complaints, follow the school's complaint procedure. yeah, then if all other avenues fail, then you look at how to thingy. But speak to your children, speak to other parents, ask them to speak to their children, and if you have complaints, follow your school's complaint policy procedure.
So the main takeaway from this discussion that I had is that it isn't just limited to that one particular school. It's happening up and down the country and across the world. And he only found out because his daughter mentioned it. If she hadn't, they would have continued to pump this nonsense into the minds of the children. So stay vigilant, have conversations with your children, liaise with other parents, follow protocols and speak to the schools and raise your concerns when they're needed.